So on my channel, I cover all sorts of projects that are designed to support you in maintaining your privacy, your freedom, and your autonomy. In this video, I'm going to be talking to somebody who's heading up a blockchain-based, privacy-focused email service.
Meet NordPass. It creates strong passwords for you, keeps them safely locked in a single place, and automatically logs you into all of your favorite online accounts. And you can access it all on all of your devices, even when you're offline. That's NordPass.
Tokenmetrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams.
Hey, Andrew, thank you so much for making yourself available. You are one of the
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. You are one of the team at Skiff, which is a email website, email service. We're going to come to that in a second. But before I do so, before we start talking about, I've so messed this up, right? I just want everybody to know, and I want Andrew to know, I don't work from a script. I just talk, right? Right? And sometimes the words, they kind of trip up as they come out of my mouth. I'm going to keep this bit in. Now, before I continue, please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT. Join my official Telegram announcements channel. And you can see I got two accounts up there, right? bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey and bit.ly/CryptoRich3Speak. I post more material, especially on Odyssey, than I do on YouTube. So you can also find me on Rumble, but Rumble just grabs the YouTube videos. You'll find most of my content, or all of my content on Odyssey, and most of it on 3Speak. If you're watching on YouTube, come over to Odyssey. Please support me there. And please do comment and like and let me know what you think of this conversation and this service that we're going to be talking about. Okay, I made it.
Awesome.
It's good, right? I've never said that stuff before. I think I'd be quite good. So, Andrew,
Definitely.
you are one of the team at Skiff. Now, what's the website address for Skiff?
Yeah, so I'm one of the founders and developers at Skiff, and we're skiff.com. We do privacy first, end-to-end encrypted, and Web3 native, so integrated with your wallet and decentralized storage and data ownership, email and collaboration, file storage and sharing. So a lot of, like the Google or other workspace products that you use, but built to be private, end-to-end encrypted, and then Web3 based.
Okay, so hold on. So it's not just an email service. You've got decentralized storage as well?
And yes, exactly.
Oh.
So you can imagine using Skiff for file storage, for file sharing. So there's a bit of a, Drive or Dropbox product. There's end-to-end encrypted, real-time collaborative documents, all sorts of things that you might want to do for kind of work or your personal life, but made to be private, sign in with your wallet, and all these other functions.
And it's also got end-to-end encryption, which means that nobody can see the messages that go in and out of the service.
Exactly. So end-to-end encryption is a standard that we've seen become basically a necessity in communication and messaging and storage today, where with end-to-end encryption, only you and the people you're writing to or working with can see what you are saying, can actually decrypt your messages. And big tech and whoever's looking at your network and even governments have no access to any of the data that you're sharing or you're sending. And so that's become really important to people because we keep our lives in our messengers and our inbox. And there's really no reason why anyone else should have access to that information.
Right. Okay. But isn't end-to-end encryption standard on some of the, the most popular email providers, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail? Don't they have that already?
They don't. They have certain aspects of encryption where, maybe when it's stored in, in a database, it'll be encrypted. But all the major providers, whether it's Microsoft or Google or Dropbox and others, they will still have access to the things that you create or the things that you write. And so we've seen people have their work censored. We've seen this data get turned over to other authorities. And especially if you're communicating around the world or with family members, you want to just have this kind of technical guarantee that you're the only person who will have access to your information. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now, is it end-to-end encrypted if I send from a Skiff email to a non-Skiff email?
Good question. So as I was just saying, your messages on Gmail are not end-to-end encrypted. And so if you send from Skiff, let's say, to a Gmail, your information is not end-to-end encrypted because Gmail will need access to it. But we at Skiff still will never have access to the things that you are writing or you're sharing. So it'll go to Gmail and they'll have access to it, but we at Skiff will not, will not store an unencrypted copy. So that'll still remain private to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it goes from my Skiff email account and it's encrypted, and when it lands in Gmail, well, Gmail can get to see inside it and stuff. So, but along the way, it's encrypted. Nobody can intercept and work it out.
Exactly. And most importantly, because Skiff is end-to-end encrypted and privacy first, we will not store a way for us to access that message. Whereas if you're on a Gmail or an Outlook, those companies can access your messages. So it's not really your data. It's kind of that Web 2 concept of it's the company's data.
Right.
But we at Skiff don't do that.
Okay, well then 2 questions. One is, how do I know? Is it open source, right? Is anybody checking? And 2, where do you store it then, that it can't be accessed?
Good question. So yes, Skiff Mail is open source. You can, I'll try and remember the repository, but you can basically go on our website, skiff.com, or if you go to github-skiff-org, you'll see our encryption code, our Skiff Mail client code, all sorts of stuff. And then on your second question, which was what?
Where is this? Where are the?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so that you actually have a choice on that. So if you go to your settings page in your Skiff account, you can choose between storing data in a server, end-to-end encrypted, or on IPFS. So if you're familiar with Filecoin and decentralized storage, or your viewers are, you can actually have your files and your static content and all of the stuff in your Dropbox basically stored on decentralized storage, which for, if you care about censorship resistant and owning your own data, that may be really important to you.
Right. Okay. Okay. And when did Skiff Mail start?
Skiff Mail, so it's September. Skiff Mail's about 4 months old, and it's been, super exciting. We have a few 100,000 people on it. I think we've delivered somewhere around 2.5 million emails to date. But as we know, email is basically a crutch for everyone.
Well, Andrew, 2.5 million emails, right? 2.5 million sounds a lot, right? But 2.5 million emails, that's not a lot, right? When you think of how many.
You're right. Well, you've got to start somewhere. So we're starting, absolutely. On day 0, we had 0. And it takes a lot for people to shift over their primary address. But, today, even in, let's say, 10 to 12 weeks of operating our platform, it's definitely ramping up to hundreds of thousands every day or something. And I realize that's small on the scale of Gmail and everyone uses email constantly, but you got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. There was a point, I imagine, where Gmail had only sent 2.5 million emails as well, right?
Definitely. Okay. Probably in just their internal testing at Google or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And how are you funded?
It's a great question. So we're funded in 2 ways. One is from our users. So people who pay for pro Skiff subscriptions, you'll get extra storage space, so 100 gigabytes or a terabyte of storage. You'll also get extra aliases, custom domains, and then we also are funded by some great investors in crypto, privacy, and the venture ecosystem. And so, yeah, that's been how we got started over the last 2 years, and now we have a great ecosystem of products and users.
Right. Okay. Sorry, you said a terabyte of storage.
Yeah, so on our biggest storage plan that'll come out in the next couple of weeks, you'll have up to a terabyte of end-to-end encrypted storage.
Well, I can store my entire life, probably your life as well, on 1 terabyte.
Well, you're probably generating quite a bit of data with all the videos and content you record.
Right. I am. Okay. Wow, a terabyte of storage. That's something else. Okay, so you have different layers of payment providers.
Exactly.
Payment plans.
And yeah, I guess just to explain it simply also, I think we're all paying for so many different services online or using so many different ones. We at Skiff want to be a privacy first, end-to-end encrypted, data ownership friendly way for you to work, collaborate, and communicate just generally. And so that's why we have our Drive product, our Notes and Pages product, and then also Skiff Mail for communication.
Okay. So I got the storage, I got the mail. What's Notes and?
Yeah, so it's a lot like Google Docs or Notion or, Word Online, where you can write documents, you can write notes, you can collaborate in real time and also publish them.
And it's all end-to-end encrypted, so that only myself,
exactly,
the person who has access to that document, I give them the link, can access it.
Exactly. And you can, exactly.
Do they need to have a Skiff account to be able to access it?
No, you can make generally shareable links that anyone can use to collaborate. So just a public link, just like Google Docs, that anyone could use to sign on.
Okay. All right. Now, I had a notion based on pure ignorance and no research whatsoever, that somehow you were connected to the blockchain. Is that inaccurate?
It's a good question. So we obviously care a ton about privacy and on data ownership. And so we do integrations with crypto wallets for identity. So crypto wallets are basically just cryptographic key pairs that store, your private keys for your Ethereum account or your Solana account or your Bitcoin address. And they can also be used to collaborate or communicate privately. And so crypto wallets are a great integration we built into Skiff. We also do storage on IPFS. So that's decentralized storage on their decentralized network. But beyond that, we don't have our own blockchain. We don't submit transactions for most of the things that you do. So it's really generally, I'd say a collaboration and communication platform, but then built to intersect with these different areas of Web3 where it makes sense for privacy.
Right. Okay. So it's not like I can connect my Kepler wallet or my MetaMask wallet to my Skiff email, but you use that technology to ensure private encrypted access.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good because I don't want to store my Bitcoin on my email account.
Right. Well, I'm sure you have probably a bunch of wallets in your browser at this point. You've tried a bunch of wallets just for fun, but there are also a few you probably really care about, that you would never want to give up. And so for either really personal communications or just for disposable anonymous communications, for many of our users, connecting it to a wallet can be simple and easy and just right in your browser.
Right. Okay. All right. So you don't have a crypto. You're funded privately, but also by subscription. It's launched in September, end-to-end encrypted with storage and with document and sheet functions, which is also encrypted.
Yeah.
Okay. Why should anybody use you?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I'd say, first of all, our products are designed to be really simple and easy to use. You mentioned you've tried out, I assume, Gmail and Outlook, and you mentioned a bunch of the privacy email providers too. We want our products to be really simple and easy to use and just deliver a ton of value for free or on our pro plans as well. So you'll get 10 gigabytes for signing up. Beyond that, they are really more private. So we do everything end-to-end encrypted, file storage and sharing and notes. And so if you're thinking about a new Gmail account or a new other provider account, Skiff would be the private version of all those things you'll want to do.
Right. Okay. Now let's talk about some of the other ones then. So I have used Outlook. I use it at work in my job as a social worker. It's what the local authority uses, right? I have used Gmail because that's what YouTube uses for Gmail. I think the biggest privacy email provider is ProtonMail. There's also Tutanota. I can't say the name.
Tutanota. Definitely a bunch more as well.
Yeah, but I said to you before we started recording, for donkey's years I've been using Fastmail. Now what happened was many years ago when I was looking at an email account, this would be over 10 years ago. I went to the web and I said, what's this? Actually, it was before Gmail launched. And I said, what's the best web service provider?
Yeah.
Because I'd used Hotmail, I'd used that Yahoo Mail, wasn't really happy with them and stuff, right? And then Fastmail came up, fastmail.fm. And I used Fastmail, and I'm very, very happy with Fastmail. I have the top level account with them. Now, without denigrating Proton or Tutanota or Fastmail, how does your product differ? What do you offer? Why should I move over from Fastmail to yours? Why should a Proton user or a Tutanota user move over to Skiff? Definitely.
So email, I think in general has been around for 50, 60 or more years. And so of course we've seen many iterations of, privacy focused email providers, consumer email providers, etc. For Skiff, we focused on two things. One is our product suite and ease of use. So you'll get access to a drive, you'll get access to notes and file sharing. And so something, basically a suite of products with privacy built in. The other is these crypto integrations that help you use kind of a more portable identity or truly own your own data. And so, you brought up Kepler Wallet. We're the basically only communication provider that will integrate directly with your Kepler Wallet and provide privacy-first, end-to-end encrypted, trustworthy communications. The same is true of IPFS and decentralized storage. So if you see the internet moving in that direction, we want to be the collaboration and communication platform of this new internet. And so, just to recap, I think the simple, easy to use, and high value product suite that's built on a layer of privacy, and then also these integrations with wallets and storage and new mechanisms that will help us basically own our data and communicate privately. Does
Right.
that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah. And just a few questions on what you said. So if I
Yeah.
don't want to integrate it with a Kepler wallet or a MetaMask because I want it to be a standalone, I can have a standard name and a login
Yeah,
password.
that's another thing that we like about Skiff. You need no personal information to sign up. You can sign up and try the product with 3 minutes on your phone and not give us any personally identifying information at all. So yeah,
Okay.
very easy to sign
Okay. And then one of the things that I do is for like passwords, I will use a clue. Uh, and I write the clue down, but the clue is really obscure, so I never have the password written down. And
up.
the clue is something that perhaps my brother or my sister-in-law will know as well as my wife, right? They'll be able to work that out. So I could do something like that with Skiff. Now, if I were to move over, if somebody were to move over from, how am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to say this right because I'm really, really happy with Fastmail. I'm really happy with Fastmail. They may not be as private as you because they're,
No, that's awesome. What I'm curious if you have a sec, what do you like most about email, and what do you think people matters most in email and maybe also in private email?
well, I think ease of use, right?
Yeah,
And I think also what happens is that people get sort of attached or comfortable or habituated to a particular service and they just keep using that, they just keep using that, they just keep using that,
yeah,
right? And get
yeah.
familiar with all the functionality. So there's that. And the thing I like about Fastmail, I have a login for Fastmail which doesn't appear on the internet anywhere. You
Right,
need that email address. It's an alias. You need that email address to log into my Fastmail account. But
right,
that email address doesn't appear anywhere on the email, so there's no chance of it being phished,
right.
right?
No, I mean that's a great general practice with email, I think.
Yeah, and it has, and I have several aliases. When I set it up, it would grab my emails from Hotmail, so,
Got it.
and then that made the redirection easier because an email would go to my Hotmail account. I would
Yeah,
reply from my Fastmail account. Fastmail is centralized. There's a company
yeah,
behind it, and it is centralized. It's not stored on centralized servers. It's not stored on IPFS. They say it's encrypted, but they may be subject to government overreach and hacks and stuff like that. I've never known it to happen. And then also I have aliases with them. I mean, I don't know about Protomail and Tutanota. Tutanota, I hope I'm saying correctly, right? If they allow aliases,
you are.
okay. But I've also heard stuff that they're not as private. They're all run by centralized companies.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think now we're talking about interesting gray areas of privacy where you can build technical privacy like end-to-end encryption, but when it comes to governments and regulation, it's hard to know what the next few years will hold. I do think, though, the world is really moving in the right direction. I mean, you mentioned private crypto projects that are exciting, and everyone's heard about, Zcash and others that have started to do
Stop,
research on zero knowledge.
stop,
Go ahead.
stop, stop. So I did mention to you, I have to interrupt you there, Andrew. I did mention to you Zcash. No, I didn't mention Zcash. I mentioned Pirate Chain. I can't let you get away with talking about Zcash as a privacy coin because
All
it
right.
has
Well,
optional privacy, and
that's
most of
fair.
the
That's fair.
transactions are visible. And you
Yeah.
can work out the other one. So it's Pirate Chain.
No, I think you're right. I think what we're seeing privacy come into lots of different, layer one cryptocurrencies. We're also seeing it get integrated all across the crypto ecosystem with like zero knowledge in general. But I think generally, we also have great end-to-end encryption coming to all the messaging products that we use. So basically, I think we're getting like much higher standards of privacy in the products that we use. But the ease of use and comfort and just existing, when you're using something for your whole identity in your life, it's so important that you trust it and it's really easy to use and it has great mobile apps and all these other requirements that you might basically be getting from a Fastmail or from another private email providers or providers.
Yeah, because also it would take something for somebody to move from for me to move from my Fastmail account to a Skiff account. Now, assume it's the same. If somebody's been using, God forbid, Hotmail for a long, long time, it would take something.
Yeah.
All their contacts, their work contacts and personal contacts, know them through that Hotmail account.
Yeah.
So, do you have any sort of function or plans to build in a function to port emails over?
It's a great question. So definitely yes. Already today, you can import from email files. So if you export them from whatever provider you use, so you could import those files. You could import with, I think, 3 or 4 clicks directly from Outlook and soon from Gmail as well. So for a lot of people, it'll be easy to just transfer your inbox over and then you can forward and other things. Finally, I imagine, you have either set up a custom domain before or, you mentioned having multiple aliases. If you'd like to set up and move that domain over to Skiff, that will be available very soon. So you'll basically be able to take a domain that you own and transfer it over and use Skiff Mail through that. So that kind of removes a lot of the cost of, or just the kind of pain and difficulty of transferring your email provider.
Okay, and do you have a calendar function?
We don't today, but that's something we'll work on. Or we are definitely thinking about, because of course, email and calendar are very kind of interrelated.
Yeah. Okay. So what have you got in the pipe? Let me preface this. Let me pause for a second. Let me preface this, right? So you started in September. It's last year. It's now August, and you haven't built everything and overtaken Gmail yet? Oh my God, what have you been doing, Andrew? Sitting around smoking cigars?
Yeah.
I am kidding with you. I am kidding. All right, I am kidding, right?
We have many challenges. We want to make a product that we love working on products. It's so much fun, making them really simple and easy to use and deliver value and great mobile apps. But it's challenging too. You hear about people's bugs on different devices and, their experiences with inboxes with 10,000 emails, just a lot to work on and improve. And so we're doing a lot, especially on our mobile apps right now, to make them faster and better and just a great kind of mobile email composing and viewing and writing experience. And then also on different kind of platform apps and integrations. So making our Drive product and our Mail app work really well together, and our Notes and our Wikis app work really well with our email and our Drive products. So really focusing on the quality of our products, making them scale for, the kind of many people who use them today, and then also just kind of set our platform up for growth in the long term. Just a quick last thought. You mentioned other products that we'll want to work on, calendar integrations and other parts of the existing product ecosystem. We're definitely excited about all that stuff, but we have a lot on our plate just improving the quality and, all the other things that we talked about building.
Right. Okay. All right. So, I mean, there is an opportunity there, I think, for somebody for getting in at the ground floor level and being involved in a part of a growing ecosystem, growing product. Because that's what happened with me with Fastmail. I got in real early. Okay. And you got the calendar coming up and other integrations. You said it. You've mentioned a few times. It's available on Android and iOS and desktop.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. And is it an app on a desktop, or can I use it through a browser?
Mostly through a browser. So we were originally a browser app. If you go to skiff.com and then click sign up, or you go to app.skiff.com, and you'll be able to sign up and use your inbox, of course. Email is just so cross-platform, as is any communication. And so you basically have a need to just kind of get the bare minimum of functionality. You'll need mobile apps and desktop apps and browser and all that stuff.
Right. Okay. And is it able to integrate with other applications that aren't Skiff-based? Like, I think Fastmail, they have their own calendar now, but I could integrate it, I think, with Thunderbird or something. Or
good question. Not today. That's definitely on the roadmap. So integrating with other native email providers and calendar providers, we haven't built that quite yet.
Right. Okay. Now, if somebody were to sign up for the top level, how much would it cost? And what does that provide?
Good question. So today it costs, I believe, $10 a month, and it will provide 100 gigabytes and soon a terabyte of storage. It'll provide extra aliases, so you'll get 4 for free when you sign up. It'll provide access to, I believe, 5 custom domains, so you can basically add email addresses for your own custom domains, and then access to a few additional other features, like unlimited version history for all of your documents, some extra kind of team sharing functionality if you need to collaborate with multiple people, and then some other small, features inside the product.
Right. Okay. And then can, like in a family, everybody needs to have their own Skiff account, or can you have a family account?
Good question. So in the kind of intermediate plan, there are basically 3 levels. There's a free plan, there's a pro plan, and there's a business plan. The pro plan should work well for families as well, who might need a few accounts, not a huge amount of storage, but some more, and then access to some extra features for a few people.
Right. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to ask you a question to which I think I can guess the answer. And the answer will be in the affirmative. What's your customer service like?
Good question. I think it's responsive. We have an awesome Discord community of 10,000 people, a sizable Twitter, and then we just get a lot of course, emails on things we can help people with and improve and fix. And, people have questions or bugs or things like that. So we try and be extremely responsive. Half the time, you're talking to an engineer on the team or you're talking to me. And so we'll do everything we can to drop things and fix bugs people have or help them out.
Right. Okay. And I'll have the links in the description below. Is there anything else I should have asked you? Any normal questions that I've missed out on or something?
I don't think so. I think I'm curious if you have any other last thoughts on what would make, what's the 21st century email product that we all deserve? What going into the next generation of communication, what features would you want or your viewers want? And I'll definitely stay tuned if you send those over or are curious about that and, whatever else we can be doing.
Sure, and I'll invite people to put them in the comments below. And if they want to keep up to date, it's through Twitter, but you also have a regular newsletter or something. There's also the
we do. So we have, we'll have a newsletter. We have video content. We have blog content on our website. We have other videos about Skiff and reviews and articles all on our website or on our social platforms and our Discord.
Okay, no, I'm willing to try it out. I'm going to try it out, right?
Awesome.
And you said what other, what would it take? Right? Or what other questions or what would people like? And what I started thinking of when you said that is what I have to deal with is my own complacency and inertia. I'm used to using this,
Totally.
and now I got to use this, and that takes work and effort. And then
totally.
But the thing for me is that even I, with the coverage that I do of privacy focus and stuff, there's an aspect I'm lazy. I don't always get how there is this increasing rise of authoritarianism in these former Western democracies, former liberal democracies that allowed their citizens to have freedom and autonomy, and that's just going to get worse. So I think privacy is going to be more and more important. So then if I want to pay for this service, can I pay with Pirate Chain?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think what you're expressing is both a pro and a con, where your life is stored in your inbox. And so just moving that over doesn't happen, in 30 seconds.
Yep.
But you also realize how sensitive and important that identity, that email is to you, that identity and probably everything stored there, the attachments and the contacts, the calendar events and everything else. And so, that's a pro and a con for the 10 million people who sign up for email every day, possibly way more than that. They're thinking about this is a possible future identity. But also, everyone's coming from another platform that you may be used to and have kind of a long history with.
Yep. Okay. Now, can people pay with crypto?
Yes, you can pay with, I will say, unfortunately, you can't pay with enough privacy chains yet, but you can pay with Bitcoin, USDC, and Ethereum, and possibly one or two others today.
Okay. That's good. Okay. All right. And I'll speak to you afterwards about how you can integrate Pirate Chain payments.
Please do.
All right. Okay. Andrew, anything else you want to say before we finish up?
I think we covered it all.
Okay, we covered it all. Thank you so much, right? I really, really appreciate it. And please do invite yourself back on, because I'm connected to so many projects. I can't keep up. If you've got any major developments, don't be shy with me, right?
Oh, absolutely not. I'll keep sending them over, and hopefully a year from now we have 3 or 4 more products to talk about.
Great. Okay. And if you have any comments or questions, put them in the description below. If do try this out. It's a free sign up, and then you can look and see about going to some of the paid tiers where you get more services and stuff. Andrew, thank you so much. For anybody who's watching. Again, please subscribe to me, bit.ly CryptoRich Odyssey or bit.ly CryptoRich3 Speak. Follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with privacy and freedom. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Andrew signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.